The Madrid derby went down this weekend, and the biggest winner of this result was definitely Barcelona as they smashed Sevilla 4-1. And then looking to Liga MX, León and América stay at top, and then the biggest surprise, Juarez, taking down the finalist in Monterrey. I mean, there's so much to talk about, and we're going to talk about it all here. But before we get into everything, make sure you guys drop a follow, like, subscribe, check out all the platform links down below. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Charla Football. I'm your host as always, Gerardo, and on today's episode, we're going to be talking about La Liga and Liga MX. No Premier League this weekend because there was only FA Cup. Anyways, looking towards La Liga first, the biggest match of the weekend, no doubt, was the Derby Madrileño, the Madrid Derby, where it was a 1-1 draw, and I think easily a big result for Barcelona because this gives them the advantage to take advantage of both teams dropping points. So as for Atleti, as for Real Madrid, a win was absolutely necessary. The 1-1 draw did not really help neither team. And going into this game, there was so much background noise, background talk, especially from Real Madrid's media, talking about the referee and how they didn't want it to be an issue in this match. And not to mention that it was an issue. I mean, you guys let me know if the penalty that was called for Julian Alvarez to then convert, if it was a penalty or not. But whether it was or not, he was taken down. He was stepped on inside of the box. You guys saw it. You guys can look at the replays, show how many steps on the Atleti's player's foot. I totally forgot who it was, but steps on his foot and anything like that inside of the box is definitely going to be called as a penalty. And if you're Julian Alvarez, you have to take it. You have to step up. But the way he did it, Panenka down the middle, or Courtois in net, just absolute straight cold finish from Julian Alvarez is what you want to see. You want to see that confidence flowing out of a player like him, who has been honestly one of Atleti's best players, up there with Griezmann as well. You guys let me know if it was a penalty or not. I think the most fascinating thing is that this was Madrid's first penalty called against them in this whole season. The first time, and we're like 22 matches in already. We're halfway through the league already. And this is the first time they have a penalty called against them. And now they want to complain. I don't know. It just seems a little weird since that they have had already 10 penalties for them. Going into the second half, 50th minute specifically, Mbappe finds the ball bouncing right for him. He finishes it. That's what he has to do. I think it's like his 16th goal in La Liga so far. So he's really picked up his form. He's probably the most informed player for Madrid right now, up there with Rodrigo. Vinicius has kind of fallen off a little bit. As for Madrid, they're missing something. They're missing that key piece in the midfield, a key element. I don't think they feel very secure at the back too, knowing that most of their defensive players and their best ones at that are not in and they're not fit. They're all injured. So definitely a lot of things that they have to shape up ahead of the Champions League this week. But I mean, I think it was a fair result. 1-1, fair result for both teams. But like I said, the biggest winner of this was Barcelona, who defeated Sevilla 4-1. Barcelona have been on an impeccable streak. The past 11 matches, no losses. I mean, they had 2 draws in 2 matches, I think, against Atalanta in the Champions League and then against Getafe in the league as well. But other than that, just been absolutely destroying all their opponents in front of them. Just at the weekend, I think, or maybe like a few days ago, they destroyed Sevilla. I mean, they destroyed Valencia in the Copa del Rey 7-1. And then once again, right here, even with 10 men in the last few moments of the game, we're still able to get the 4th goal. And I mean, it's a goleada nonetheless. 4-1 is a goleada. On the score sheet, it was just, I mean, everybody had fun, right, on this match. Not even just in the Valencia game, but in this match specifically, we saw Fermin Lopez get on the score sheet, who has been performing well when he comes on, either off the bench or from starting. Lewandowski, who bagged his 30th goal this season in all competitions. Eddie Garcia, who's also scoring surprisingly. And then Rafinha, who's just been nonstop, easily Barcelona's most influential player, and of course the captain of the team as well. With Barcelona's win, that leaves the league wide open. We see 1 point separating between first, second, and third. So I think Real Madrid are at 49, Atleti at 48, and then 47 for Barcelona, with just a few points difference between third and fourth as well. Athletic Bilbao, I think, are only 3 or 4 points behind of third place. So really, it's anyone's league. The top 4 is that race for top 4 is going to be masterful towards the end of the season. But we'll see what happens. But nonetheless, a very important result for Barcelona, a win they needed to take advantage of. If not, one of these two teams in Atleti or Real Madrid would be slipping away. Which leads me to ask, who do you guys think will win the La Liga this season? Will it be Madrid, Atleti, Barcelona? Maybe we'll have a surprise in Bilbao. I don't know. Anything can happen. You guys let me know in the comments down below. Now we jump to the other side of the pond. We go to Liga MX in Mexico, where Liga MX have had a complete resurgence this winter. They had a lot of important transfers go out, but also a lot of big name signings come in, like James, Sergio Ramos to be specifically. And I mean, yeah, what a mediatic impact this will have for the league. Obviously, a lot of eyes will be paying attention, especially eyes in Spain. We'll be looking at the league and looking at the players and maybe help export some more players during the summer since there's a lot of eyes looking at the league. But nonetheless, I think this was a very important time for the league because it's been a while since we've seen movements like this, especially during a winter transfer window where it's so difficult to be making moves such as these. But in a very weird and difficult week, where in the Champions Cup, the debut of the Champions Cup, we saw three Liga MX teams put on not the best performances. I mean, Tigres and Pumas lost. Tigres lost against Esteli, which isn't a surprise. They also beat America last season. Once they come back to Mexico, we expect them to get the win at home and completely just change the situation. But I don't think for a Mexican club, it's an excuse to then to work twice as hard when you should have gotten the result the first time. So yeah, Pumas lost against Calvary, the first win against an MX club for a Canadian side, I believe. Tigres lost, and then Chivas drawing in the final minutes against Cibao, a team in the Dominican Republic, who were just moments away from getting the first win in Champions Cup ever. So it was just a very weird week for Liga MX teams. But going to the league itself, let's go to Toluca versus León. 3-3 draw, an impeccable match for both teams. First off, defensively, quite horrid from both teams as well. And there's two goalkeeper blunders that, we'll talk about towards the end that led to making it 3-3. But overall, it was a great match. From the neutral eye, you got James getting an assist. We got Cadiz, who's the top goal scorer of the league, I believe, with 5 goals. The strikers are just feeding off of James right now. And León have been playing impeccably well. They look like prime León back in like 2013, 2014 when Gustavo Matosas was there and they won the Bicampeonato. That's exactly how they look like right now, the way they play. Defensively, not as solid as that team, but yeah, there's a lot of work to do. It's still the beginning of the season, but León have started off so well. They were top of the table, I think. Then America took over the top, and now they're tied both with 16 points at the top. But as for James, he's fitting like a glove in that midfield. Undisputed starter, there's no doubt. Gerardo coming off of the bench here and there, which is fine. It's perfect because James has a lot more legs, not as injury prone as Gerardo has been in recent years. And yeah, James just, the quality, you can tell how much quality this guy fucking delivers every fucking match. And I was one of the people that said that maybe in the league he was going to fall short, but when it came to the Club World Cup with a bunch of eyes on him, that's where he was going to perform his best. But he's proved me wrong so far. I think he's performing very well, and I'm hoping that in the Club World Cup he can take León very far and represent Mexico for us. But yeah, those first 2 goals, just absolute masterful pieces of play from León, who have been performing exceptionally well on the pitch. But then the second half came around, and Toluca stepped up. Toluca, we know that they are offensively so strong. They don't give up. They definitely don't give up, and that's exactly what happened in this match. They got the first, they got the second. I think Violante got the first goal, who is picking up his good form from last season. The 19-year-old, I think 19 or 21, one of those two. Don't quote me on that, but he's still a very young player. Broke out last season, and now this season picking up in that good form. Has not been starting too recently. I don't know if Mohamed doesn't have enough faith in the youngsters like Baiba had, but in this situation, he steps up when he really needed to, gets the first goal, sparks the comeback, and then Roberto Morales, who then tied it. But then this is where the goalkeeper mistakes came in. Pau Lopez, the new goalkeeper for Toluca, who was brought in from La Liga side Girona. I think he was the second goalkeeper. And he needed some playing time, so a complete change of scenery was definitely what was needed for this guy. But in this match, he started off very well. He had made a couple decent saves, but then in a shot that really had nothing on it, it saw him just completely fumble it. I have no idea how it skips over his body while he's diving, but yeah, it just kind of bounces over his body. And yeah, it was the third goal for León, and I think you would think that the morale would kind of go down for Toluca, but it didn't. It actually had the opposite effect. We saw Toluca go all out once again because They know they had the opportunity to get more chances created and to get that third goal, and which they did. It was Morales again getting his brace for the night. Another goalkeeper blunder from the Leon goalkeeper, Jimenez. I don't know if he could have done a little better. It seemed like his positioning was a little off. Maybe he slipped towards the end when trying to make that save. But at the end of the day, for Toluca, and I think for both teams, it's a fair result. Both teams defensively were fucking horrendous, but offensively, I mean, this game delivered when it really needed to, leaving Leon at the top. Toluca is still fighting for the Liga spots. I think they're like in 6th place, I believe. Which leads me to ask, do you guys think that Leon and America are the best teams in Mexico right now? Let me know what you guys think down below. Now let's jump to the Frontera, where FC Juarez have been probably one of the biggest surprises so far. They're in 7th place after the win against Monterrey. Monterrey, who were the finalists last season and just have not picked up this season whatsoever. I don't know what's going on. They have brought in some very important signings like Nelson Dosa from Pachuca. Obviously, Sergio Ramos, the biggest signing of them all. Probably even the biggest signing in Liga MX history. Maybe even above Ronaldinho. I don't know. You guys let me know that below. But yeah, it was 2 corner kicks, 2 set pieces. Juarez looking like Arsenal in the Premier League right now. With the way they're performing their set pieces, and they took advantage of it, and that's what they needed to do, and they got the win 2-1. Canales got his goal in like the final moments of the match, but it was never enough. Monterrey just, and it's been a recurring theme at the beginning of the season, even kind of towards the end of last season when Michelis was brought in. Just offensively, they lack something. Like they have all this quality, but I think it just needs more work from a tactical point of view. They need more work. And I don't think if Demi Chelis is that guy. He's still a very young coach, not as experienced. He did well with River Plate, but towards the end of his tenure at River Plate, he was let go because they just weren't performing. And we're starting to kind of see that with Monterrey. And I don't know if Demi Chelis will make it all the way because they need a very competitive. With this squad, they have to be competitive. They have to be winning every single match. And yeah, no, this is not acceptable from Demi Chelis, from Monterrey. And as for Juarez, I mean, talk about team effort. This team has been impeccable, and they have been playing as a unit, and that's what you want to see. And they don't give up. So this team has been definitely a breath of fresh air to watch. Kind of when you expected them to not really be fighting for it, but everyone loves an underdog story. Last season, it was San Luis. And right now they haven't been getting off to a good start either. So I think Juarez is definitely taking up that role. But with Sergio Ramos coming in from Monterrey, coming into Liga MX, I mean, we'll see when he debuts. It's been months since he's played. But do you guys think that he will be the answer? I personally don't think so because defensively, I mean, yes, they lack, but I don't think Sergio Ramos will be the guy. Maybe to give him a little bit of experience, a little bit of a voice on the field, maybe a little bit of leadership, which is definitely what's needed for Monterrey because I don't really see anyone that comes to me or like stands out as a leader. Maybe Sergio Canales, but I mean, we need someone like with the hierarchy of Sergio Ramos. I mean, everyone will listen to Ramos. He has that winning mentality. Maybe he could start to switch things around in Monterrey, but I guess we'll see what happens. You guys let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys want more MX content, more La Liga content, make sure you guys check all the videos down below. Make sure you subscribe, like, check all the platform links, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.